Welcome to Wagon Train Wednesdays, presented by the Archway. Not everyone who took part in the California Gold Rush did so by choice. Bridget Biddy Mason was born into slavery in 1818. She was named Bridget without a surname and was later nicknamed Biddy. She was presented as a wedding gift to a Mormon couple named Robert and Rebecca Smith in Mississippi. In 1848, when Biddy was 30, the Smith family headed west to help establish the Mormon community in Salt Lake City. Through the land that would later become Nebraska, they followed the Mormon Trail on the north side of the Platte River. Biddy walked behind a caravan of 300 wagons. The journey west was about 1,700 miles. Biddy was responsible for setting up and breaking camp. She cooked the meals, herded the cattle, and served as a midwife. She also cared for her own 10-year-old, 4-year-old, and newborn daughters. In 1851, Robert Smith decided to head to California to seek his fortune. He ignored Brigham Young's warning that slavery was illegal there. Smith's family brought Biddy and other enslaved persons along with them when they joined a group of 150 wagons headed for San Bernardino. On the way, Biddy met a free black couple. They told her that slavery was illegal in California and urged her to contest her status once she arrived. In California, Smith claimed a land along the Santa Ana River and became a successful cattleman. Later, Smith had a falling out with Mormon leaders and his business began to fail. He feared that his enslaved persons would be set free, so he planned another move. This time, they would head to Texas, where slavery was legal. Robert Owens, whose son was a friend of Biddy's 17-year-old daughter, told the county sheriff that Smith was illegally holding slaves. The sheriff gathered a posse and caught up with Smith's wagon as it was headed out of California. Biddy petitioned for her freedom, and on January 21, 1856, Los Angeles District Judge Benjamin Hayes approved her petition. The ruling freed Biddy and 13 members of her extended family. She took her surname from the middle name of San Bernardino's mayor, Amasa Mason Lyman. Biddy Mason then moved to Los Angeles, where her daughter married Robert Owens' son. She continued to work as a midwife and nurse for Dr. John Strother Griffin and delivered many babies in Los Angeles. In her medicine bag, she carried both her medical instruments and the papers that Judge Hayes had given to her, affirming that she was free. At the time, Los Angeles had about 2,000 residents, and Mason's friends, Robert Owens and Dr. Griffin, both had invested in real estate in the growing community. By 1866, Mason had saved enough to purchase her own plot of land in what is now downtown Los Angeles for $250. The small wood-framed house that she built on the land was more than the family home. It became a refuge for newcomers to the city. It was a daycare for children of working women, and it served a meeting place for civic gatherings. In 1872, the First African Methodist Episcopal Church began meeting at the Mason House. They continued meeting there until they were able to build a church of their own. Mason continued to serve as a midwife and became a shrewd real estate investor. As the neighborhood around her home began to grow, she was able to purchase and sell land at a significant profit. She also helped members of her family buy properties around the city. Because of her generous and seemingly endless charity work, she was known throughout Los Angeles as Grandma Biddy. In 1887, she had a sidewalk installed in front of her home to accommodate the line of people in need of assistance who came to her gate each morning. By the time of her death in 1891, Biddy Mason had become one of the wealthiest women in Los Angeles. Her story is one of the many that are told in the Journey's Outcome exhibit at the Archway. Learn more about Biddy Mason and life in early Los Angeles. Find these books at your local library or online. Biddy Mason Speaks Up by Arissa White and Laura Atkins. And Bridget Biddy Mason, From Slave to Businesswoman by Jean Kinney Williams. Be sure to follow the Archway's Facebook page and check back next Wednesday for another episode of Wagon Train Wednesdays.